Hey guys, welcome to the channel if you're new, welcome back if you're a subscriber. My name's Neil and it's time for the next episode of Lost. Just finished watching episode 17, Catch 22, where we've got big new news. Penny, who we last really got to see at the end of season 2, with that reveal that she is searching for Desmond, has now re-entered our current storyline in the sense that she is clearly directing a search for Desmond, for the island, and we got evidence of that in the form of a crashed helicopter and a pilot that jumped and survived the parachute drop onto the island. Desmond, Charlie, Hurley, and Jin found this female pilot at the end of last episode. They found... it's clear that the outside world is looking for them now, and that may change everything, or we may forget about it for another 18 episodes. Like, that's how crazy Lost can be. But this must give our survivors hope that there is a search going on for them and that they're getting close. That the chopper was, you could hear it, you could see it crash out in the ocean. Like, they got close. So this should be buoyant, great news for our survivors back in Survivorville. Let's talk about the B story from last episode for a moment. I didn't talk about it in last episode's postscript, and it's worth discussing briefly. And it's the love triangle between Jack and Kate and Sawyer. We all know that Jack saw Kate and Sawyer hook up when they were in the cage at Hydra Station. Juliet has used that to her benefit to sort of dissuade Kate from pursuing Jack any further. Jack has certainly made up his mind that Kate is no longer a woman worth pursuing, I suppose is the way to put it. And Kate seems to be coming to terms with that, and she decided to jump Sawyer, perhaps out of frustration, perhaps out of sadness, perhaps out of some sort of getting back at Jack thing, and Sawyer saw right through it. That didn't stop him from hooking up with her too, but he saw through it. He realized what she was doing. Certainly after his game of ping pong with Jack the next morning. It's weird that love triangle for me, because I feel like all three of the participants in that triangle, I'm not including Juliet, but our three, Jack, Kate, and Sawyer, they all act within that triangle very differently than they do with members of the opposite sex in the rest of their lives. Whenever Sawyer's around Kate, he's nervous and bumbling and uncertain, and whenever we've seen him with other women, he's incredibly suave and he controls the situation. He's very manipulative in a charming way, and with Kate, he doesn't know what to do with himself. He doesn't know where to put his hands. He doesn't know what to say. He doesn't know where to look. You know, he's an awkward kid. He acts like Hurley might. And then Kate seems unable to tell Jack at all what she's feeling, why she slept with Sawyer. She feels like she's curiously mute in that regard, and I don't quite know why. I mean, clearly she still has feelings for Jack. Clearly, I think Jack would be her, quote, preference. Like it certainly feels like she's settling for Sawyer when she realizes Jack is unavailable. So why isn't she fighting for Jack more? She's always been so proactive, resourceful, capable, and yet she's very passive in letting Jack go. And then Jack himself, I feel like he's been so easily manipulated by Juliet, and Jack's always been about fixing people, and maybe he sees in Juliet his next project. Maybe Kate is too capable, but Juliet is just as capable, and she's proven that to Jack and to everybody and the audience. So I'm not sure why put it this way. When Jack's marriage with Sarah fell apart, he fought to win her back, even though he knew that she was sleeping with somebody else. And yet here, knowing that Kate has slept with somebody else, he isn't fighting at all. Even though they clearly have chemistry and attraction for each other, he has just chosen to give up on that avenue. So, yeah, it's just odd to see the three of them acting in a way that isn't consistent with the way they've acted in the past in similar situations. Nevertheless, it is interesting to watch, and I know I haven't commented much on that love triangle in the past, so I figured it was worth a little discussion now. I'm excited to jump into our next episode. Before I do, just a reminder, I have recently just started up my Patreon page, and I'm excited about it even though I suck at self-promotion. If you want to see full-length reactions, that's where you can find them. If you want to get early access to my YouTube reactions, you'll find them on Patreon a week or two in advance. If you want to vote on what shows I react to next, that's where you can do it. It's all on my Patreon page. If you want to check out the link, it's down below. And I would greatly appreciate your support if you did. If you aren't the type to check out a Patreon page, that's super cool too. You spending time on the channel, checking out my reaction is support enough, and I really appreciate every single one of you. So, without further ado, let's jump into episode 18 of season 3 of Lost. This one's called D.O.C.
Previously on Lost.
You're pregnant.
Oh, we're revisiting the son is pregnant storyline, and the fact that no pregnancy on the island seems to be able to come to term, except for Claire.
I wanted to see how you were doing with your pregnancy.
A little tired, but that's normal, right?
Sure. Any bleeding?
Why are you asking me all these questions, Jack?
I'm just checking in.
I'm trying to figure out how much Jack knows about the conception problems, the pregnancy problems on the island.
나 지금 집에야. 점심시간에 잠깐 떨렸어.
그래? 집이 엉망이지?
하지만 우리 잠자리만큼은 확실하게 끝냈지.
정말 정말 사랑해요.
나도 사랑해.
Oh.
아가씨 맞지?
Who is
그
this?
몸 팔던 여자 야두라는 것도 알고 있어?
Who's this
자네
woman?
왜 5시 여기서 보지? 달러 10만 불 준비해갖고 와. 정말 사랑한다면 내 요구 조건을 들어줘야 진심을 감출 수 있을걸?
Oh. What a conniving little opportunist of a woman. Okay, she's not dead, the parachutist.
I've never seen her before in my life.
Spanish, dude.
What, you understand her then?
She says she's dying.
Okay, it is Spanish.
Oh, it's a branch. She must have hit it on the way down. What if this is a rescue? What if she came for us?
Jack,
We have to get to Jack as soon as possible.
nobody knows we're here.
Nice.
Oops.
No one's gonna see that too far away. Unless somebody saw that. Oh.
내 평생 학사모로서도 이렇게 섹시한 여자는 처음이야.
왜 당신 가족 사진은 편지 한 장도 없다고?
아버지 내가 군대에 있을 때 돌아가셨어.
Right.
근데 그건 왜 자꾸 묻는데?
He never told her his parents lived. His dad lived.
What do you think happened to Jack while he was with the others?
He says that he was pretty much a prisoner.
Do you believe him? What if the others want my baby? He's been there alone for over a week. How do we know he isn't working with them?
The suspicion begins.
It's Juliet.
Oh.
Son, wait, you don't have to do this.
Go away, Kate. What happens to pregnant women?
You're pregnant.
I asked you a question. I want answers.
Yeah, we
What are
don't want
people
her
doing?
knowing that Son's
Why
pregnant.
are you taking children? What happens to pregnant women on this island? What
They
happens?
die. Son, come on, let's go.
You don't just leave it with they die. You've got to get more answers at that point.
What's she saying?
Chinese, not Korean. Maybe we should just pull it out.
She speaks Chinese too. Who's coming? Danielle? No. Oh! None of these guys know who this is, right? None of the... Did any of them see him on the monitor?
Jin! Jin!
This is awesome. You know what would suck running through a heavily wooded forest? Having no depth perception with an eye patch. Whoa! Jin's got moves. Did we know Jin was in the army?
Who are you?
It's a flare gun.
He's the guy who shot Saeed. He's another.
I thought Locke killed that guy with the electro fence thingy.
You've got 5 seconds to talk. Why fire this gun, brother?
How did he survive? How did he survive?
As your friend pointed out, I already died once this week.
Did the island just cure him?
Sto morendo.
She's speaking Italian. She said she's dying. She needs help.
How many languages is she speaking in?
I was a Soviet Army field medic.
How did he survive? Did we not see him, like, frothing at the mouth and bleeding from the ears?
You must let me walk away as if I never came upon you.
So Sun has the prospect that she's going to die because she's pregnant. But how did Claire survive? What's special about Claire? I mean, obviously she was nearly full term when she arrived. So maybe she made it through the critical phase.
혹시 권 선생님이세요?
She found out.
그래. 결혼식은 잘 치렀겠지?
네, 멋있었어요. 그 사람은 아버님이 돌아가셨다고.
He's like the one good father on this
자신의
show.
과거가 부끄럽고 창피해서.
그래서 아버님은 진수 씨가 어렸을 때 어머니가 돌아가셨다고 말씀하신 거예요?
혼자서 내가 그놈을 키웠어. 내가 그놈의 애비인지도 확실치 않아.
What a good father.
진수에게는 날 만났다거나
Was that Jin's mother that's blackmailing him? Blackmailing her? Like, who else would know that his mother's a prostitute other than the mother?
Be quiet. Don't move. I have answers to your questions, but you have to come with me right now.
What?
Just you and me.
Where?
Nobody else.
What? Oh. Don't trust Juliet. Ugh.
What are you going to do to me?
I'm gonna be your
I'm gonna look at your baby and
OBGYN.
determine the D.O.C. Date of conception.
Ah, that's the title.
If you got pregnant off the island, then you and your baby will probably be okay. But if you got pregnant here,
So this will also answer the question of whether it was Jay instead. But we definitely want a D.O.C. before 9/22, don't we?
갑자기 이 아빠를 찾은 용건이 뭘까?
I need 100,000.
저 10만 불이 필요해요.
어디다 쓰려고?
그건 말씀드릴 수가 없어요.
Just like that. Here's $100,000.
그놈 때문이라면 이 돈은 그놈이 앞으로 갚아야 할 빚이야. 이제부터 내가 시키는 일만 하게 될 거다.
Oh, so it was that prompted Dad to put Jin to work. Just to save him the shame. Just like that. Now she's speaking Russian.
What did she say? Thank you.
No. No.
She said thank you for helping me.
No. No. Someone give me that translation, please. We're back to the staff. Ugh. Is it still abandoned? Who else would be here?
Why are you doing this? Helping me.
She's not helping. She's doing her research for Ben and the others. They have a new potential research subject.
I've lost 9 patients in the last 3 years.
It's a lot of pregnant women. Maybe if you're another, you don't get pregnant.
I want to give good news again.
Don't trust her. Juliet is maybe the most dangerous
I slept with another man.
character on the show because she comes off so trustworthy. It's either Jay's or she's going to die. Deep shame.
It was a mistake.
We all make mistakes.
Oh, there's a secret compartment in a locker? Seriously? Why? I mean, don't get me wrong, secret compartments, secret passages are always fun, but why?
Why is this room hidden?
Don't worry about it.
No, what's
Where
the
is this
reason?
place?
Yeah.
Tell me.
It's where we brought the women to die.
You know how you can't take Ben fully at his word, that you have to take everything he says with a grain of salt? I'm feeling the same way about Juliet.
I did as I promised. She will live.
You can't seriously be considering letting him
Just go.
Horn!
Jen, Horn! Jen, Horn! Jen, let him go. Jen, let him go.
Fawn! How could you respect me if I didn't try?
Still haven't explained how this guy survived going through the sonic fence. I mean, he sure looked dead when he went through. Generally, when someone foams at the mouth like they've been given a cyanide pill and their ears start bleeding, like gushing, you assume they're dying.
The baby isn't Jin's.
She knows that.
We tried to have a baby back in Korea and couldn't. And the doctor...
But the island may have cured him.
And then you came here. The average male sperm count is between 60 and 80 million. But on this island, it's 5 times that.
Is there a commensurate rise in testosterone with all the men, too? And here I thought D.O.C. stood for Department of Corrections.
I lose either way. If I'm going to live, that means the baby's not Jin's.
Moment of truth.
오늘 회사에 왔다면서? 왜 나한테는 들리지 않았어?
당신 바쁠 것 같아서요.
아무리 바빠도 당신 볼 시간은 있지.
Back when Jin was nothing but happy.
이건 무슨 돈이야?
그거 아빠가 주신 거예요. 우리 신혼여행도 가야 되잖아.
They both lie to
그
each other.
정도는 내가 할 수 있잖아. 무슨 일이 있어도 당신은 내가 책임질 거야.
알아요.
And he will always take care of your child.
그렇지 않아도 아버님에게 너무 많은 진사를 줬는데.
Too late. You are now working for him directly. It's so much better if it is Jay's and the baby lives and Jin will never know and he'll take care of it like it's his own.
I can see it.
It's very strong. It's very healthy.
And how old is it?
53 days. You got pregnant on the island.
Yeah. So it's Jin's, but she's gonna die.
I'm so sorry, son. I will do everything that I can.
She's happy because it's Jin's. So this must be Jin's mother, the ex-prostitute.
내 남편은 당신이 죽은 걸로 알고 있어. 다음엔 당신에게 무슨 일이 일어날지 나도 장담 못해. So how long do I have?
Most of the women made it into the middle of their second trimester.
She's got about 3 months more.
Nobody made it to their third.
Thank you.
Now, I mean, this is an awkward question, obviously, but wouldn't it make sense to abort if you know you're going to die? I know that's a touchy topic, but wouldn't that make sense?
Ben, it's 6 a.m. on Saturday morning. Kwan is pregnant. The fetus is healthy and was conceived on island with her husband. I'll report back when I know more. I hate you.
And yet she's still working with him.
You can't trust him, you know.
Don't want to be sympathetic
The
to
others.
By my count, you killed more of them than they've killed of you.
They started it. You know, just because one comes traipsing back with Jack and Kate doesn't mean that we can trust them now.
Where am I?
English, finally.
Easy, you just hit a giant branch.
Where am I?
I don't know. You're on an island.
Who are you?
Hugo Reyes. I crashed here on Oceanic Flight 815. A bunch of us survived. Is that why you're here? Were you looking for us?
That's not possible.
Yeah, I know. It wasn't easy, but we found food.
No.
And the hatch.
No,
more
Flight
food.
815, they found the plane.
What?
There were no survivors.
What?
They were all dead.
What?
What? What? What? Ah! Ah! There were no survivors. What? What? Okay. How do you leave that? I wanted to talk about this whole episode, and instead I can't get away from that final reveal at the very end. So the real world knows about Flight 815. They're not looking for anyone because they think they found the wreck and there were no survivors? How does that mesh with everything we know? It doesn't, because we know the plane split into two. We saw the wreckage. We've seen the cockpit. We've seen the midsection. We saw the tail section go down in the water. We know they're survivors. How? How? So, are the others, or is the Dharma Initiative powerful enough to stage a plane wreck, to turn off the hunt for survivors of 815? Is that a possibility? Otherwise, I don't know. Okay, let's take that reveal and put it to the side and try and talk about this episode. And Sun's a great character. I really like Sun. I find it interesting, the more we learn about her and Jin's backstory, how much deception was going on in that relationship. Even though they really loved each other a lot, and would do anything for, they were lying for each other. They justified it all as white lies, you know. Jin lied about his parents being dead because he didn't want to bring shame upon the marriage. Sun didn't let on that she found Jin's father because she didn't want to bring shame upon him. And when she learned that his mother was in fact a prostitute and didn't die when he was a baby, then she buried that from him as well. She lied to him about what the money was for, and it's all to protect each other, and yet it ended up taking that money is exactly the act that made Sun's father turn Jin into a thug, for lack of a better word, an enforcer, and that's what jammed a wedge into their marriage. That's what ultimately led to her cheating on Jin. And yet, we have new news here. We have news that the baby is indeed Jin's, that Jin's infertility has been cured, presumably by the island, and that Sun apparently has only a couple of months to live. That's a lot to process. It's also 2 seasons in Lost time. So as much as that's looming, that's also something that we may not immediately focus on again for a while. The Russian, I'm blanking on his name. I'm going to call him Boris just because I need to give him a Russian name, and Vladimir doesn't sound right. He's more of a Boris than a Vladimir. How is he alive? Is this, again, just a miracle of the island? Because the last we saw him, Locke pushed him through the sonic fence. He started foaming at the mouth. He started spurting blood from his ears, and he collapsed. That said death to everybody who watched it. And yet, nope, he's alive and seemingly no worse for wear, and he's not even deaf from, blood bursting out of your ears. He's alive and on his own. Is he going to link up with the rest of the others? We don't know where they've gone yet, but they've gone somewhere, and presumably we're going to see them again because they've got Locke. And Juliet, we know that she's working with Ben. You can tell, as much as I've said that Juliet, the character, is a very good actor. She's managed to deceive Kate and Jack. She's very manipulative, but I sensed that there was some real happiness and joy when she was doing what she loved doing with Sun, doing the ultrasound. That tear felt genuine when she gave Sun the good news. And yes, she hates Ben. I don't doubt that, based on everything we've seen. And yet she's still cooperating with Ben, and is this all just to keep her sister and her niece alive back in the US? Or is there more to it? I get why you guys are all excited to dive into the back half of season 3, because we're having knockout episode after knockout episode, and I obviously we need to know more about our parachutist. She speaks multiple languages, including Russian. What did she say to Boris? I know it's not his name. Tell me in the comments. What did she say to him? What did he take away from that? I think it was more than a thank you, because isn't that just spasibo or something like that? But let's learn more of her story. They're gonna the boys are gonna carry her back to Survivorville. It would appear they've built a stretcher that's about to begin, but there were no survivors of 815. Have we crossed into an alternate reality? Is this a multiverse kind of thing? And there's a thin barrier between the two? Like, is there an alternate reality where there were no survivors and that's what the real world is part of, and somehow the submarine and the crashed plane made it through that barrier? I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. Stay tuned. We have a handful of episodes left in this season, and then we've got 3 more seasons. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Mind blown. Love this show. Love this show. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm very happy. I love having my mind blown in that sort of way. Thanks to the creators of Lost for giving me that experience. And thanks to all of you for joining me. Let me know your comments and thoughts about this episode down below. And until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.